Maria Luiza is obsessed with Free Fire.
Tirava do meu mundinho mais estrito e eu ia pra lá e conseguia fazer mais coisas.
She loves it so much that she commutes 6 hours a day, 3 hours each way, to play it here, at the world's first esports center in a favela.
Minha casa fica muito pra lá. Aqui é a nossa sala de condicionamento físico. A gente tem aulas de educação física para alongamento do pulso, braço, dedo e tudo mais.
The popularity of Free Fire is part of a gaming boom in Brazil and across Latin America, one that is opening doors for more jobs in all things video games.
O mobile fez isso estourar.
Estou tentando nesse ano entrar no segmento de criação de conteúdo, então eu sei que isso pode ser uma porta de entrada para várias coisas. Se eu quiser ser, eu sei que eu vou conseguir.
Maria hopes to build a career out of playing games like Free Fire. She grew up in a compound of 5 houses with just one computer and is the main breadwinner in her family. But making it in the gaming world as a woman is not easy. They often are underrepresented, underpaid, and subject to discrimination, both at work and online. And yet, as more women play, develop, and spend on video games, some say momentum for equality within the industry is building.
There is kind of a critical mass forming of women in the industry.
It's all about money. They're pressing the industry to do something different.
So, what does success look like for women in esports in Brazil?
Será que leva 10 segundos?
It looks like Cherna, a 23-year-old professional Rainbow Six Siege player from Sao Paulo.
Em 2018, quando eu fui pro meu primeiro campeonato no Rio de Janeiro, só me deu um alerta na minha mente quando eu vi pessoas vindo até mim e falar: tira uma foto comigo, eu sou sua fã. E aquilo falou: meu Deus, eu tô sendo famosa.
At 18, Cherna became the only woman nominated for the Esports Brazil prize. In the 3 years after, she garnered 19 tournament wins.
E eu comecei a perceber que, cara, isso tá virando uma profissão. Eu tô conseguindo ganhar um dinheiro, um salário, tô conseguindo premiações.
But as Cherna's profile rose in the esports world, so did the sexist and racist harassment she faced online.
Pessoas ameaçaram, falaram que iam me matar se eu fosse na premiação. Ouvi que eu não poderia estar lá por ser mulher. Eu estava preenchendo uma cota. Eu não sou boa, eu só tô lá porque eu sou negra.
Early this year, Cherna abruptly quit her league, citing the harassment she faced and the lack of support she received from Ubisoft, which sponsors her league. Ubisoft wouldn't comment on Cherna's case specifically, but wrote in an email, "We strive to provide a safe, respectful, and inclusive experience for all our players."
Eu creio. Falam que isso começou por conta da criação da pessoa. A mulher precisa cuidar da casa, cuidar das crianças e por aí em diante. Ela não pode fazer outras coisas. Todas as meninas que jogam passam por isso. Nenhuma escapa.
A study in 2020 found that 77% of female gamers experience things like name-calling, inappropriate sexual messages, and patronizing comments.
Those very extreme cases where we get like full misogyny and so on, that's, the tip of the iceberg. What really happens on the day-to-day basis are those very small aggressions.
Almost half of all women surveyed in 2022 said they played a game less or stopped playing it completely because of online harassment.
Quando você é uma mulher que você vai ligar o microfone, você vai falar alguma coisa, parece que muda a pessoa que tá do seu lado ali.
All of this means less women end up pursuing a career in pro gaming. There are no female players in the top 400 esports earners globally. To remedy this, women-only teams and leagues have been popping up around the world, like the one started in Argentina by Cecilia Duarte.
Creo que la estabilidad es lo más difícil de vivir del gaming. Vivir del gaming es como hacer un omelette. No a todo el mundo le sale.
5 years ago, Duarte, or Lady Mufa as she is known online, left a career in the Air Force to start Liga Valkyria, the first all-female League of Legends league in South America.
Digo, es necesario crear espacios para que estas personas puedan jugar igual que cualquier otra persona. Logramos que pasar de 6 equipos que había en la primera edición a 16 que tuvimos en la última. Logramos que después hubiera otros torneos femeninos también.
Major esports companies have also introduced all-women teams in the last few years. In 2021, Riot Games, a billion-dollar game company based in Los Angeles, began holding a series of women-only competitions worldwide in the first-person shooter game Valorant. ESL Gaming, the world's oldest esports organization, similarly introduced a global women's circuit last year in Counter-Strike.
There are good reasons that teams shouldn't strictly be all male or all female, but I think all women teams and non-binary teams in esports is an effective strategy, at least on one front, to diversifying the landscape of esports.
If you go beyond esports and factor in jobs across the gaming industry, like developers, marketing, and design, women are better represented, but they tend to be paid less and have less stability than men. A 2020 market report shows that women account for almost half of entry-level positions in the game industry globally, but the numbers drop when you move up the ladder. An investigation by Rest of World revealed cases of gender discrimination and wage imbalances at Wildlife Studios, one of the largest game developers in Brazil. An internal report showed that women earned almost 30% less than male counterparts, and an all-male WhatsApp group was created for members to quote-unquote speak more freely. Wildlife Studios did not respond to our request for comment. Other major studios around the world have been called out for having similarly toxic work environments.
And when people look at an interview at studios and they just see like one type of worker there, they're like, oh, like I don't know if I could fit in, or they aren't going to be taken seriously. So it's just this vicious cycle that kind of ends up repeating itself, unless studios really, really work hard to take steps to reverse it.
Gamergate.
This is very disturbing stuff.
It's literally been the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Nearly a decade after Gamergate, a harassment campaign in which thousands of gamers targeted female critics of the male-dominated industry with death and rape threats online. Abuse is still pervasive, but there are more efforts to tackle it. More women are talking about the discrimination and harassment they face. More companies are setting up workplace protections and dissociating themselves from offenders. More firms are investing in women-led studios.
Because you can't say that women aren't competitive. Look at the rise of professional women's basketball, women's soccer, women's football. The more that companies can do to bring women and girls into competitive situations, the better, and I think they'll come.
Mi nombre es el joven Román, me acompaña Lady Mufa para el arranque de los playoffs.
For those already here, success is about much more than winning tournaments.
Espero que mais pessoas tenham oportunidades como eu tive. Quando você tem uma mulher que já está dentro e está acolhendo esse tipo de menina, que tá passando por essa situação, que sabe o que está passando, eu acho que é bastante importante. Isso ajuda na inclusão também.
Si van a preguntar realmente cuál es el objetivo de la Liga Femenina, el objetivo de la Liga Femenina es desaparecer, es no ser necesaria. Ese es el objetivo final. Es llegar a un punto donde sea tan normal que una mujer esté jugando, que no tenga que ocultarse.
Thanks so much for watching. We'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced harassment or discrimination while playing video games? What do you think it'll take for the industry to change? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more context.